please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC TV18. I think it's time to get you some market opinion. Then we spoke to Ajay Srivastava of Dimensions Corporate Financial Services. He, in fact, had various views on various sectors and various sectors he likes, in fact. Let's hear out what he had to tell us.
7.5% increase was unimaginable for a company like TCS. So I think, you would take a mixed bag out of this to say that some of the forgotten sectors were one which took the traction this week. Some of the most owned sectors are the one which took a beating. And I think the lesson here is one bit, that, we are going through bouts of euphoria, bouts of pessimism at this point of time. If you got money, you moved your portfolio around, it was a full glass, absolute full glass, because IT just gave you spectacular, hotels re-rating was spectacular. And of course, if you were of the old sort, we thought buying PSU banks and PSU oil companies were the greatest thing to do in this country, you took a big knocking on your portfolio. It's now getting into a problem area that you're buying at very expensive valuation. But where do you go in this market? If you look at it in the consumption story, if you look at the bank credit, what the data came out today, that almost 100% of incremental bank credit went to retail finance. And that tells you the story that what stock you should bank upon, which means that it's consumption story playing out, not the industrial story. So you can't help but not buy it. And it gives you corrections. If you look at Bata, you look at other stocks, you look at Britannia, you look at Venky's, they all give you corrections to enter into. I think this saga is going to continue. I think they are on a good wicket. For next 1 year or so, they should do much better than the market. Zero debt companies, no interest rate risk, and by and large, they're not facing competition. That's the best part.
Okay, we're going to undergo a complete overhaul in our marketing strategy. That is the word coming in from the Chief Marketing Officer of Bata, Thomas Archer. Bata, speaking to CNBC TV18's Ronojoy Banerjee, said that the footwear giant is contemplating spinning off sub-brands of Bata in exclusive retail outlets. Let's listen in to that conversation.
Well, I think 2017 was a good year. We had great bottom line growth, we had good top line growth. This year, our challenge is to accelerate top line growth. I think the last few years we've been delivering great profit, exceeding expectations. This year, with all these new initiatives coming online, we'd be disappointed if we didn't get into the double digits, turnover growth.
Would you also look at the option then of you're telling me that you're trying to reintroduce different kinds of brands? Would they always, would I find those brands always under the Bata showroom, or is there even a possibility for you, gauging the response some of the brands get, to actually spin them off as a separate brand identity and perhaps separate stores for them? Is that something that you're open to?
Absolutely, and it's actually something we're doing at the moment. Let's say, for example, Power. Power is a brand that we've completely rejuvenated over the last year and a half. Now we've signed up the vice captain of the Indian women's cricket team, Smriti Mandana, and she's basically helping us launch some of our more premium lines. So now we're bringing, much more colorful technological lines to the brand, slightly higher price point, but extremely good value still. We opened our first Power store a few weeks ago here in Noida, and so we intend to spin that off, really create a strong athletic brand in its own right. And then we're looking at other brands like North Star, like Bubble Gummers, each catering to a slightly different segment.
Oh, that will be a complete overhauling of your branding strategy that you've followed since, what, 1932?
That's correct.
My God, so it's a complete overhaul of the branding strategy. If you're telling me that each of these brands could potentially then have their own distribution network, then it's like completely changing the way you've done business.
It's a big change,
Okay, well, now on to the poll-bound state of Karnataka. BJP has released its third list of 59 candidates for the upcoming assembly elections on the 12th of May. It has fielded Gopal Rao from one of the regions against CM Siddharama, who filed his paper from that particular constituency. Leader of the Janata Dal Secular, H.T. Kumaraswamy, filed his nomination papers. He will be fighting from 2 seats as well.
And the Association of Democratic Reforms has analyzed nearly 500 candidates who will be fielded by the 3 major parties in Karnataka. That's the Congress, the BJP, as well as the JDS. Archana Shukla standing by with some of the key interesting findings. Archana.
Well, yes, preliminary analysis of the candidates fielded by political parties in Karnataka show that money power continues to rule. An analysis by Association of Democratic Reforms shows that of the 498 names being announced so far by the three political parties, 277 are crorpatis, and a majority of them are recontesting. 91% of Congress candidates, 87% of BJP, and 79% of JDS candidates recontesting this time in Karnataka are crorpatis. Just for a comparison, 93% of MLAs in the outgoing Karnataka Assembly are crorpatis. 10 Congress candidates whose affidavits were available have shown total assets above 100 crore rupees. 3 candidates of JDS and 1 of BJP have made it to that coveted 100 crore plus list. The richest candidate so far is Priya Krishna, Congress MLA from Govindraj Nagar constituency, with total assets of 910 crore. Interestingly, richest candidates of both BJP and Congress are pitched against each other in BBMP South constituency. JDS's richest candidate is contesting from neighbouring BBMP North seat. When it comes to serious criminal cases, there is no bar either. 17% of BJP candidates, 16% of both Congress and JDS each are charged with serious criminal cases, but have been given tickets for recontesting in this assembly election. According to the report, out of the 218 candidates that Congress has fielded this time, 23 of them are facing serious criminal cases, while 48, which is a 32%, are facing normal criminal cases. BJP has fielded 27%, JDS 29% candidates with criminal cases. These numbers could change post parties finalize their candidates for all seats and file their affidavits. Till then, this stays as the hard reality.
Manisha Gupta now joins in to tell us what she's tracking in the commodity and currency space. Manisha, hi, morning.
Morning, and thank you so much for that. Well, after very strong last couple of gains in crude oil prices, we have started on a very flat to slightly weaker note, and that is because the markets are reacting to the rising U.S. rig count, which drillers added 5 more rigs in the previous week. So the total count now stands at 820. Also, if you look at the Brent crude oil prices, we are up 20% from the Feb low. So in any case, into a bullish territory. And the support has come in from the fact that you have seen global inventories declining. Venezuela output has been falling as well. And there is a lot of geopolitical premium that has been building up into the prices. Now, the major thing that the markets would want to watch out for is the May 12th. That is when the U.S. will decide on a final Iran nuclear deal. And until then, the markets are expected to be quite choppy. Support, though, continues for the metals as a sector. Precious metals have been holding firm on safe haven buying. Also, data suggests that the fund allocation to commodity-focused funds has been at $3 billion in the first quarter of 2018, and which is the highest in last three or 4 years. And that really has been supportive. So there is a turnaround. There is that interest coming back in commodities. And clearly, with the kind of gains, many of these commodities, metals, etc., have turned into a bullish territory, attracting more funds.
Okay, all right, Manisha, thanks so much for joining in and giving us those details. By the way, the SGX Nifty now is down close to around 60 points, but the Hang Seng, I think that market should come up for us. It saw a bit of a downtick just to kickstart trade, but the Hang Seng now is down nearly around 180 points. It's moved to the low point of the day, so just keep an eye out on that market. The SGX Nifty as well now is indicating a cut of more than 60 points, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that front as well. But let's hop across to Mangalam. He's joining in to tell us all the cues from the derivatives market. Hey, Mangalam, morning.
Morning, Nigel. So, you know, this week expiry starts. So Friday was the last trading session ahead of the expiry week out there. Incrementally positive cues coming in from the F&O space. The most important one, we keep tracking the intraday premium of futures over spot. And that one ahead of expiry actually spiked to about 21.5 points as against 12.8 points, telling you that there was some buying. Then the data came by, confirmed the fact that there was some buying. FIIs bought about 200 crores in index futures, about 7,000 long positions added against 3,600 short contracts. So that's nearly 2 long contracts added per short contract. If you take a look at the index options as well, the FIIs added contracts in long calls and short puts. Together, about 1,500 long calls added and 2,000 short puts added. At the same time, long puts were unwound as well as short calls were unwound. That indicates that maybe there is more optimism than pessimism going into the expiry week. But this is the expiry week. The markers are placed at 10,700 call as well as 10,500 puts. So those two levels I will be keenly watching. Watch out for DHFL enters the F&O ban, IRB exits F&O ban, and then there were a lot of long positions added on Mindtree. Remember, this is the expiry week, so this week itself, or rather this series, we saw a lot of shorts covering positions in Infosys, TCS, as well as NIIT Tech. All of them were buzzing in trade on Friday, and fresh longs were added on Wockhardt and Bata, post the commentary that the management gave to CNBC TV18.
Okay, all right, Mangalam, thanks very much for that. And with that, it's a wrap on Power Breakfast. We leave you with the picks of our bullseye contestants for day one of the week. Bazaar Morning Call coming up next.
My first call is buy on Sterlite Technologies. Maintain a buy with a stop of 330 for an upside target of 358. My second call is buy on UBL. Maintain a stop of 1110 for an upside target of 1180. My third call is buy on Motherson Sumi. Maintain a stop loss of 345 for an upside target of 364. And my fourth call is buy on Ashok Leyland. Maintain a stop of 151 for an upside target of 162.
First call for today on the buy side is going to be Bata India. Long positions can be created in this stock, keeping a stop loss of 779 and expecting a target of 865. Next stock on the buy side is going to be Setco Auto, and long positions can be created in Setco, keeping a stop loss of 60.40 and expecting a target of 67. Next stock on the buy side is going to be Morpen Lab, and stop loss for Morpen Lab has to be kept at 38.20 for the target of 42.50. And the final call on the buy side is going to be Tech Mahindra, and stop loss for Tech Mahindra has to be kept at 680 for the target of 755.
Buy L&T Infotech, stop loss 1375, target 1500. My second call is a buy call on Carborundum Universal. Buy Carborundum Universal, stop loss 354.80, target 390. My third call is a buy call on Action Construction. Buy Action Construction, stop loss 169, target 193. My last call is a buy call on 8K Miles Software Services. Buy 8K Miles Software Services, stop loss 725, target 830.